In our last couple of videos, we took this vintage Ken bar streaker cart back to its former glory. Once we were done, we asked on Instagram what we should do next, and the most comments we got were for a live axle kit from Go Powersports and some billet engine parts. So in today's video, we'll be installing just that. Now, beating and debeating tires, I don't really have many tips besides get a nice set of tire spoons, maybe some tools like this one, and then just struggle. Now that we've got the tires off the old wheels, it's time to install them on the new wheels, which are keyed for our new live axle. Time to cut off this rear one wheel peel setup so I can weld in the bearing hangers for the live axle. We're going to measure here from the spindle bracket, and we're going to try and match the location of the old axle. Once we measured and located where our live axle bearing hangers were going to sit, we sanded down the paint and we pulled out our Hobart multi-handler welder. As you can see, the welds turned out great, and we love our Hobart welder because it makes projects like this quick and easy. We finished mounting the bearing hangers on the cart, covered up all the scuffs and scratches with a fresh coat of paint, and got it looking good as new. So now it's time to focus back on the engine. In the last couple of videos we took out the governor and put a Mikuni on it, and now it's time to make it a little more bulletproof. So we've got some 22-pound valve springs to eliminate valve float at higher RPM, and we've got some pretty cool billet parts. So for the next upgrade, we have this awesome Go Powersports billet flywheel, and it'll make a huge performance upgrade, especially when paired with a billet rod.
All right. Don't go in there, bud. Hey, I really needed this, bud. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. I gotta go, man. Back to North Carolina.
Safe travels.
Thanks.
Sorry about that, guys. Last night we picked up a hitchhiker and we let him use our bathroom. He said he was going back to North Carolina. I've never seen him before, but I hope he's made it back safely. Now we're going to start breaking into this engine to install those billet parts. So we're going to start out with an 8mm socket and remove these bolts on the shroud. Now with the same 8mm socket, we're going to remove the coil. Now I get a 3/4 inch socket and remove the nut that holds the starter cup on. You can remove your starter cup and your fan. And now we're going to remove the flywheel. Okay, so we put crowbars on the stronger parts of the block, and we threaded a nut on to protect our threads, and out comes the flywheel. So now this giant piece of cast iron will not be exploding on us and, you know, causing all a bunch of injuries. A couple 10 mils to get the side casing off. So we started by getting our piston to top dead center. So that's where these two circles there and on the cam would line up. That just makes it a little bit easier to get to your bolts. Then we took out our cam, our flat tappets, and our push rods. And then We're gonna break free these bolts and see how the stock rod bearings are. Let's take a look. That's really not that bad, actually. I was expecting worse wear. There's nothing to catch your finger on. We're gonna move the crank back. So the whole goal of this is to not have to remove the head. So we don't have to start replacing the head gaskets and do all that. All we'll have to do is set the valve lash at the very end. Now we're gonna come around to the other side of the engine and remove our crank. So we're just gonna kind of wiggle it around the rod, and voila. So right now I'm just checking the oil clearance on our crankshaft. So yeah, it should be exactly at 1.188 and then plus or minus 0.5 of a thousandth. And this will just give us a good idea that our oil clearance is all right. We don't have plastic gauge, so we can't really check this side of the clearance, but you know, if our crank's good, we're probably good. So now we're sliding out our piston, and we just want to get it so that we can see the wrist pin and no more. We don't want the piston rings to come out or anything, so let's just go a little bit. Right there should be good. Okay, so we're gonna get a pick, and we're gonna get under this little tab right here, and boom. Whoa, okay. So we got the clip out, and now I'm gonna use my pinky. Whoa. There we go. And there is our stock rod. A little bit of wear, but not very reliable. Put a little oil on these surfaces just so there's no wear when we first start it up, and we're gonna pop this back in. So one thing you want to be careful of is to make sure you don't hit the serrated part of the rod on the crank or anything, because that's kind of the mating surface to make sure everything's lined up right. So here's something that really shows the difference between these two rods. So on the stock one, you kind of have a oil flinger dipper thing that just kind of, you know, dips in and splashes around. Now this has a scoop that has a channel that goes to the bearing. So not only do you have real bearing material that are replaceable, you also have an oil feed for that bearing rather than this one that just has a hole at the top. So the stock one just has a hole and oil seeps in, but this one kind of forces it in and there's a groove. So that's why we like these so much. I'm gonna make sure we got a layer of oil on everything and put our crank back. And once again, making sure not to damage the serrated parts on the rod. Alright, that's in. We're gonna line up our notches on the bearings. Those will click right into place, and we're ready. We have our 1/4 inch 12-point bolts. We're going to start by torquing them both down to 60 inch-pounds, and then we're going to increase by increments of 20 up to 170 inch-pounds. And make sure to line these up at top dead center. So, perfect. ARC says to lap the flywheel to the crank, so we're going to do that. So we just have some valve grinding compound on there, and we're just going to lap it and just kind of work it in. Reinstall your Woodruff key, then the flywheel. For this flywheel, they recommend a coil gap of 30 thou. So we've got our feeler gauge here set to 30 thou. Gonna check it, get it snug, and then tighten it. Now the last part of this engine build is going to be replacing the stock valve springs with some 22-pound valve springs. So, an 8mm socket, we're going to take off the valve cover and expose our valve train. Okay. Now we're gonna install our 22-pound valve springs. So you put your spring on first. So we haven't done valve springs in a while, and we're kind of struggling with this at first because we didn't know what we usually do, but I think we just figured out the best thing that works for us with 2 people. So we used a right angle pick, and we put it inside the spark plug hole to hold the valves up so they can't fall into the cylinder. Then the other person will take both thumbs and just barely kind of hold the keepers into place, leaving some wiggle room for them to fall into place. And then you just compress the valve spring, use the tips of your thumbs to move the keepers, and as you all saw in video, that was our first try for the exhaust port, and we got it first try in a couple seconds. Now that you get your feeler gauges back out, you're going to set a valve lash of 2 thou on the intake side and 3 thou on the exhaust side. And what you'll need is a 14mm wrench and a 10mm ratchet to tighten up the nuts. Okay, go for it. Once you feel a little bit of resistance, that means your valve lash is set. Now we're going to fill it back up with some 10W30. The engine upgrades are complete, and now it's time to move on to the live axle assembly. Now for the moment everyone's been waiting for. We're gonna install the solid live axle. All right, give her a spin. Ooh, beauty, fresh. Now we'll add on our lock collar for the bearing, then our brake drum, also remember to put your sprocket where your clutch is going to be. We are in business. We got our chain on, our brake over here, everything's really neatly packaged. We got all our locking collars set, and there's our tire. All right, now that she's all done, it's time to put her down. Beauty. All right, so it looks almost exactly like it did before, except now we have a live axle. Yeah, looks pretty sweet. We got the paint to match pretty well. Well, some rough spots, but looks good. Yeah, considering all the cutting and welding we had to do on this thing, it still looks pretty nice. And we now have the added performance of having both wheels getting equal power to the ground. So it won't turn as well or handle as well because we don't have that one wheel peel and the one free wheel, but
it'll handle much better off-road.
Yeah, and that's what we're after. And on top of that, we've got some nice valve springs and billet parts giving us reliability and more top end. So this thing should be a little rocket. Alright guys, this thing is a ripper. Live axle definitely reduces the steering a little bit. You can probably hear the tires squealing a bit. Definitely if you were on dirt, this thing would be far better though. You wouldn't be spinning with your one wheel peel. And then I mean, if you have a one wheel peel, you still lose traction sometimes
you can't get power out of turns as well. What really impressed me the most about this car actually was the engine. We got the billet flywheel, the billet rod, and those valve springs. This thing rips. I mean, it revs real high. You know, it just keeps pulling. There's a whole different character to the engine.
So what was the top speed on those last couple of runs?
So before we put all those billet parts on, it was 35, I think. So we'll go to our screen recording. Here we go. We'll give you the live reaction. 43 on the first run, 44 on the second run, and another 44. Sweet. So we went from 35 to 44. So almost a 10 mile an hour.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Which for, yeah, the go-kart 200cc is like, what percent is that, you know? Pretty good.
Do some math real
30,
quick.
35 divided by 44. 79, wait. 20% increase in top speed. That's pretty good.
That is really good.
So
I'm happy with it.